On this episode of Small Town Western New York, I'm taking a day trip to a place that sits just on the outside of the town of Elma. You know, it's one of the sleepier small towns in Western New York, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that, and I don't mean that in any derogatory sense. It's just that this place seems to capture that elusive sit back on the porch, breathe in the clean country air, and take it all in type of vibe. It has this perfect mix of rolling hill geography, flat farmlands, country homes, newer homes, and then a perfect postage stamp small town tucked right in the middle. You can't beat it. It has this quintessential all-American feel to it, and I wanted to share it with all of you. I'm headed to the town of Marilla. The town's name was actually derived from a woman named Marilla Rogers, who was an early school teacher here in the area. And one can only imagine she must have been a really well-loved, renowned, and respected citizen here for this newly christened town to have been named in her honor while she was still alive. She passed in 1855 at the age of 38, just 2 short years after the town was named after her, which is usually an honor reserved for much more post-mortem ceremonies, of course, and it's quite an honor for anyone, dead or alive. When the county was first settled in 1827, what was to become the town of Marilla that we know today was, like so many of the towns in this area, part of the Buffalo Creek Indian Reservation, with the Ebenezer Society being the very first group of Europeans to settle on the Seneca lands, with the land only becoming officially opened after the Treaty of Buffalo Creek was finalized. The town of Marilla was actually patchworked together in 1853 from pieces of the towns of Wales and Alden. As many of the older, once rural towns just outside of the city were being either clear-cut, paved, and trashed, or just simply ignored and abandoned over the last century, a few smaller towns, a little further out, like Marilla, slipped right past the destructive, senseless hands of the ever-encroaching developers, and just kept its head down, keeping on, keeping on. And what's here today is thankfully the end result of its location being a few miles outside of what would be considered the actual burbs of the city. So what do I love most about Marilla? Why here? Well, it's just the peacefulness of it all. Yes, there are a few great shops and restaurants and other amenities that provide just enough of everything for anyone to have a great day trip here. But there's something else here. There's a there. The feeling that this place of Marilla seems to capture so perfectly well. It simply is what it is. It isn't trying so hard. Yes, of course the town has seen some growth, like any town, but it hasn't lost any of its beauty or charm either over the years. And I should know, I used to secretly ride my bike all the way out here from West Seneca every week to take a dip in an old swimming hole that my father first introduced me to that he would swim in when he was a kid. And not much has changed since then. And that's the point of this. This place is still very beautiful and very pure. It's been smartly managed and loved and curated through multiple generations, and I hope it always stays that way. This episode of Small Town Western New York was made possible by the following supporters.